This kid is like a machine.
Daniel Dubois!
There's a lot of excitement about when he first turned professional.
Great shot from Daniel Dubois!
He had the hardest jab that I'd ever felt.
And it is finished in the second round.
But the jury was always going to be out of him until he had a tougher test.
Daniel Dubois down.
He quit.
It's all over.
That is a fundamental flaw in a fighter.
And Daniel Dubois has dragged himself off the canvas. He showed tremendous courage.
Daniel showed a lot of guts and a lot of heart.
And new heavyweight champion of the world.
This is a truly uplifting story, going down and then coming back up again. If he wants to swing, let's go now. Don't disrespect him.
It will be the biggest night of his life.
I was born, raised to fight.
Yeah, he's born to fight. He doesn't know anything else.
Yeah.
He's never been on the streets, he's never been in gangs. The only gang he's been in is the blue corner or the red corner.
Yeah. I didn't just find boxing off the street. My dad put me in this game from when I was a young kid.
Yeah, he's been put together by the mad scientists.
Junior ABAs, schoolboys, Free Nations, all your GB call-ups. I did them all.
From the day one we started working together, everything he has said to me has materialized.
And this one's going to materialise as well. Daniel's going to beat Anthony Joshua in front of 100,000 people and all millions around the world. Because it was written. Some things are just written, you know?
My name is Daniel Dubois, 19 years old, heavyweight.
So obviously we're 3 weeks away now from your pro debut.
It's fast approaching. I'm feeling good. I feel ready to show my talent, show my ability in the ring.
He spent a proportion of his amateur career at my amateur club.
This is Martin Bowers. Let's go to the water.
Thank you.
All-round fighter.
He's a big guy, big heavyweight, looks the part. Definitely one to keep an eye out for. A lot of times within boxing we see a great partnership between father and son.
This is my dad. He brought me into boxing and he's been with me the whole way.
What's your job, Dad?
Well, getting them up in the morning, that's the first one. And fitness and strength training, really, I add to their game.
Daniel Dubois Sr., he's a big character. And usually within the gym, he's there, and he does have a massive role in Daniel's life as well as his career.
There's a lot of good things we were hearing about how he was knocking people over in the gym and stuff, so I was just excited about seeing what he was like.
I'd worked with him on the GB squad. I've seen him spar several times with AJ at the time there, who was a professional then. I also seen him spar Fraser Clark and Joe Joyce, and held his own with all those boxers. Of all the boxers I've ever trained in Sheffield, he had the hardest jab that I'd ever felt. It's accurate, it's sharp, it's a cracker, it really is.
There was this rumour that Daniel Dubois absolutely iced Anthony Joshua. And then the call went straight into Frank Warren. Frank Warren instantly opened his checkbook.
Quite a few stories were floating around about his sparring sessions with some established heavyweights, and made a beeline to sign him.
Hailing from Greenwich, London, England, Triple D, Daniel Dynamite Dubois!
There's a lot of excitement about it when he first turned professional.
And he's caught him with the left to the jaw, followed by the right hand, and he goes down.
He exploded onto the scene. First 5 or 6 fights, all ending within 2 rounds.
And it is finished in the second round.
I expected a knockout myself, but I'm glad I pulled it off.
And in front of your dad, your brother, your sister?
Yeah, it's amazing, and I'm just so thankful for them and them getting me this far and just motivating me every day to train hard.
He'd throw a shot somewhere above the navel and people would fall over. And people were getting a bit concerned. They maybe thought that he wasn't progressing. But if you look closely, he was working on his feet, he was working on his combinations. And we saw it in the Gorman fight, which I'm going to tell you now, to me was a 50-50 fight. Nathan Gorman's a good fighter.
Oh, big right hand from Dubois, and he's down for the first time.
On that night, Daniel took the bull by the horns and really got to Nathan.
He is trying to fight back against Dubois, but Dubois is relentless.
It was a really impressive performance because on paper that could have been a tricky one.
And he's out, and the champion is Daniel Dubois.
Like every other prospect, he was putting him away, but the jury was always going to be out of him until he had a tougher test.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Joe the Juggernaut Joyce.
I felt at the time when the fight was made, I was like, that's a clever fight, that's a good fight. Joyce is certainly not someone to overlook, but there was still the odd question mark over Joyce.
A fight of these two heavyweight prospects, both talked about as being future world champions, fighting in front of nobody, was strange. But what I do remember about the night is the sound of their shots.
And the power shots are starting to come in here from Dubois.
Detonating shots off each other's heads.
A little bit of reddening around the face of Dubois already from the accuracy of this left-hand lead of Joe Joyce. And as he goes back to the corner, you can see the face of Daniel Dubois is really marking up.
This is the fight, man. You really got it.
The Joyce fight did not come too early for him. The injury to his eye came too early in that fight.
Look at the damage to that left eye, Richie.
Yeah, a lot of damage there.
He's going to take this off us. Got me? Come on. Work too hard for this. Too long.
Once the eye started to close, once there was so much pain every time Big Joe was catching him with shots on that particular part of his face, he had no option.
Oh dear, it's the left eye and he's gone down. He's gone down with a jab right on that damaged left eye.
When he went down on one knee, I thought, what's going on here? But he done well to go as far as he did with it.
And it could be that it's all over right here. He's had enough, he doesn't want any more.
It was a terrible injury that he had, and he had a conscious decision to make. Do I stand up or do I stay here? And he made the choice to stay down.
He did the thing that 99% of the entire global population would do. He did the smart thing, but he still quit.
He should have been put in the position to make that decision himself. Earlier, the corner probably should have pulled him out.
Physically made the right decision to live to fight another day, but it may have taken him a while to get over the mental scarring of that. Sometimes to face defeat at this stage of your career, you can use to your advantage.
When you've got fellow professionals and ex-fighters talking about that you've got no heart, that's a lot of pressure because the public pick up on it and then you see all the trolls on the internet who jumps onto it as well.
People do judge you quickly on your downfall. That's what happens if you don't deliver. But it's really where your heart is. If you enjoy what you do and you want to keep on progressing, you just got to stick with it.
At the time the Dubois were a family affair, they all moved to the McGuigan gym setup.
He felt like he needed some change, and Shane was on a high roll. You know, Shane had some really big and powerful fighters at that time, and it worked.
I think that was a great link-up. I remember when it happened, I was excited for both guys, and they went on a really good run together.
There is the element of the bizarre in Miami tonight.
The fight with Trevor Bryan. I think it's one of the most bizarre, farcical settings for a heavyweight title fight that I've ever seen.
Daniel Dubois tonight has been treated very much as the away fighter.
There was hardly anybody there. The people that were there seemed relatively disinterested. And then in the middle of all of this, it's a massive fight for Daniel Dubois and for Trevor Bryan.
And if he does win tonight, Daniel Dubois, he'll become just the second British-based heavyweight to win a version of the World Heavyweight title on US soil. But already Bryan is proving easy for Daniel Dubois to hit.
Trevor Bryan's record made him look a better fighter than he actually was, and Daniel, too powerful, too good, too quick.
There's a great shot from Daniel Dubois. Dubois detonates the dynamite onto the chin of Trevor Bryan. He's not going to beat the count.
It was important to go overseas and experience all of that. When you think about where the fight was held and the conditions and the whole circus around the promotion in general, he will have learned an awful lot from that.
And new WBA heavyweight champion of the world, Dynamite, Daniel Dubois!
A world title should be special. There should be nothing regular about it. I wasn't suddenly calling Daniel Dubois a world champion for being the WBA regular champion.
This is the turning point for Daniel Dubois.
Daniel Dynamite Dubois!
It was the first time he showed real courage in a fight.
Both boxers then landing shots and Dubois down. The legs buckled and Dubois has to take a count.
Not only was he down in the first round against a man that we all expected him to beat relatively comfortably, and in the process he'd suffered quite a significant knee injury at the same time.
And he's still not right. Daniel Dubois down again. These are very troubling times. And he's down for the third time. His balance seems to have gone.
Well, he showed that night that the man is not a straightforward quitter.
Oh, it's a good shot.
Against Lorena, but he fought back. Daniel showed a lot of guts and a lot of heart in that fight to get through it and then get the victory.
Dubois lands a crunching left hook in there. Yeah, great uppercut as well. Lorena's going. And Daniel Dubois has dragged himself off the canvas. He's won the fight. He showed tremendous courage. He stays the WBA regular heavyweight champion.
Every camp is layers in life, in everything you do. It's about putting layers, recognizing areas you need to improve, and that's what he's doing on a daily basis. I can see the improvement all the time. As you can see, he just went through 3 padsmen there, and every one of us, we come up breathing heavy. He stays in there, yeah? So that tells you, I don't need to say anything else, that tells you, when you look at him, that tells you what our intention is going to be, or is.
The McGregor split was a strange one to me, but then fighters move on. Not all fighters are going to stay with one person.
Everyone has their own style, and just soaking up and getting something from each of them, and using that for my fight and preparation. So, sharpening my tools.
He went with Don Charles, and I think that's a clever move from him. I think Don Charles obviously trained a lot of heavyweights, most notably is Derek Chisora.
He was 17. He came down with his father. They get some rounds with Derek Chisora. He wasn't fazed at all. We kept in touch. He did his journey. And we're here today. I dare anyone to do it. I dare anyone to put that body kit and get hit by him. If you know what I'm feeling, I can't even describe it, but I'm very determined to aid him, my young gun, to go and do the business. The only unfortunate part of that is that myself and Shane McGuinn and his father, Barry, we've got a very good relationship. I called Shane just to let you know this is what's about to happen. Do you have any objections? He said, no, I'm glad he's going to you.
It's in Poland, it's on away grounds. It has to be something spectacular. I want to win in style. You got to dig deep, look deeper in yourself than you've ever done before.
Just had a good chat with Don Charles just now, and he said he's just simmering along nicely, and building up to it. Been a long time in the making, and I think he's finally getting his big shot at the big time.
Hats off to him. It's the Lion's Den. He's come in here to fight the unified heavyweight champion, but we're here because we back our man and we think he can do it, and we've just got to sit here now and hope it'll be one of the great victories for a British fighter.
You right, big man? Yeah. You look $1 million. Hey.
He wants $1 million, Frank. Yeah. Have you got it?
Do this tonight, what you're going to do to be more than $1 million.
Dynamite, Daniel Dubois!
So Daniel Dubois' big night has arrived at 25. He's bidding to become heavyweight champion of the world. Make no mistake, if he wins, it'll be a seismic shock. There are questions, lots of questions. Is he ready? Is he good enough? All will be revealed here tonight.
It's very unusual for a heavyweight so young to be thrown in so deep.
Daniel Dubois' big moment has arrived. Can he do what no other man has been able to do in Usyk's professional career, and tonight shock the heavyweight world?
Dubois boxed really well that night. He rose to the occasion.
Dubois might need to target the body tonight, but he's got to take risks in there tonight, and he has to, but they have to be calculated risks.
Daniel was always in the fight, and I thought Daniel hurt him a couple of times. I don't think Usyk was happy in the fight itself. It wasn't going all his own way.
There's a body shot. Is that low? Well, the referee signals timeout. That was a low blow from Daniel Dubois, right on the borderline, and Usyk really felt that, as you can see. That took the wind completely out of it.
Was it a low blow? Was it a legal blow? It was somewhere between the two.
The referee is saying it was a low blow.
I thought it was low. I thought Usyk milked it.
Well, he's going to need a moment or two, Alexander Usyk.
To this day, I felt it was a genuine blow, and he definitely hurt him.
Well, he's going to be given the time to recover here, Alexander Usyk.
Usyk just uses experience. If the referee had started the count, I'm pretty sure Usyk, although he was hurt, he gets back up. But I think that experience allowed him to recover. He was hurt from the shot, whether you want to call it a low blow or not.
5 minutes is a long time for a fighter to procrastinate in the corner, not knowing what's going on.
This has to be Dubois' opportunity. If he's going to have one tonight, it has to be now, you think.
Just got to go for it now.
Usyk, he's the best in the world, and he gets to in the end.
Final minute of round number 8. Good combination from Alexander Usyk. Little dip of the knees. Dubois down. Daniel Dubois down, but there's hardly any time left in the round. Looks to his corner. Back to his feet. So is this where the champion turns the screw? Round 9. Usyk looking to put the pressure back on. Straight. Great shot. Right hand. Great shot. Daniel Dubois down. And Usyk just nods his head. Can Daniel Dubois beat the count? It's all over. Alexander Usyk has retained his heavyweight title belt.
When he got beat against Alexander Usyk, he quit. Don't blame him. He was getting peppered from everywhere. He was getting hurt. He was going to get knocked out, cold. He chose to exit the environment. That is a fundamental flaw in a fighter.
With the Saudi backing and the money involved, You just look at the heavyweight fights that are happening. These are fights that we've been crying out for so long. There's fights that sometimes aren't even for titles, happening, competitive fights.
These guys could not be more opposite in character, Daniel Dubois and Jarrell Miller, but they are united in one common goal on Saturday, and that's to knock each other out.
Tune in Saturday night, man. I'm gonna cook this shrimp. The two-time quitter.
Miller had so much to prove and wanted so much. And if he beats Daniel Dubois, because of the way he talks and because of the way he fights, and he's an extrovert, he's a great character, he would have been absolutely catapulted into big fight after big fight. So he was fighting for a lot.
Well, Miller also, mentally, he was in the press conference and lead up to the fight, he kept jumping on him and giving him, you know, he was sort of winning him, and he turned around and he said something at the press conference, Daniel, and he said it was like a light bulb moment for me.
Big baby. Every baby has a daddy, and I'm gonna beat you like I'm your daddy.
They were gonna have something to say, try and put me down somehow, but I just needed to upset them, and all the doubters and the critics silenced them.
This was another one where he had to fight through adversity. Miller is just a big, big man, hard to push around.
Every fight is a must win. That one in particular, we had to sink or swim.
Dubois showed character, showed resilience, and anyone who thought he might have quit before certainly couldn't say that of him now.
Good shots again from Dubois. Miller's rocking. Miller's gone backwards. He's hurt now, Miller. Inside the final 20 seconds. Wobbled by a left hand. Clubbed by another one. The referee's having a look. Is Dubois going to get the late stoppage? Yes, he is.
I'm actually glad it took 10 rounds, the whole duration to get the stoppage. He answered a lot of questions. He ticked a lot of boxes for himself and for us, the coaching staff.
Sensational stoppage. It silenced almost all of the doubters.
Daniel, you're now once again a player in the heavyweight division.
You know, the confidence that might have been missing before, I regained it tonight. And, you know, thanks to my team and especially to my dad for, you know, always supporting me.
Nobody really wanted to fight Filip Hrgović, and I was a little bit concerned about him when he took the fight.
Hrgović has let a few bombs go already.
Filip Hrgović, for 3 rounds, he was perfect. He hit Daniel Dubois like he was hitting a bag.
It's Hrgović that's started the better here, finding the target with the right hand.
He was getting caught with those big right hands, and he got caught with quite a few of them.
But there was a look in Daniel's eyes. He went back to the corner at the end of every round.
Dubois didn't seem fazed by it.
He bit down on the gum shield and again fought through adversity.
When Dubois refused to give up, Hrgović didn't have any other answers.
Whether that was the influence of his father, whether that was the influence of Don Charles, whether that's this newfound belief and resilience, whether it's a combination of all of it, that was a really good night for Daniel Dubois.
He's like the boogeyman of the heavyweight division, so what does that make me?
You have to go to those dark places. You've got to put yourself in uncomfortable positions time and time again. And that's how you build the resilience. So he's nowhere near as fragile as he used to be. But he's done it. He's done it before.
The IBF are doing exactly what they do, stripping people of belts, making sure that they fulfill their mandatories. So Daniel Dubois is now currently IBF Heavyweight Champion of the world, and I've been called in to come and challenge him for it.
Would have loved it to be in the ring after my last win, but it's more respect to my name.
It probably should be a vacant belt, but that's not the rules. When Usyk vacates that title, the interim champion becomes the full champion, and you get a chance to rip it off him.
AJ is a national idol. And then Dubois is this kid that was written off, who's clawed his way back.
It's amazing. This is a truly uplifting story, going down and then coming back up again. He wants to swing, go, let's go now.
Sharp, relax.
That had to be pulled apart. Dubois sort of said, well, if you want to go now, we'll go now. And that was probably the worst thing you could say to AJ, who got up and Went
No, don't disrespect me on my life.
No, man.
It's okay. I want this little boy. Don't disrespect me, bro. You've got to be ready to fight at all times.
I just got to keep my head on me right now. Just stay focused. It doesn't need to be anything stupid. I want to fight him in the ring.
I've seen AJ, when he's got caught, also go into his shell a bit. So I feel this fight is going to be about heart and mind. Who wants it the most? And I think this young man wants it.
These guys are two huge punchers, but two Brits fighting for the World Heavyweight title in front of 100,000 people at the National Stadium.
We've seen all the big fights in Riyadh. Now we've got a big fight at Wembley Stadium again. We're going to get a record crowd.
He's looking good, he's looking sharp. He's working hard every day, plugging away. He's getting better and better.
It will be a huge night. It will be the biggest night of his life.
Daniel's up for this. It's going to take a hard man to beat him, you know. He's going to take a very, very hard man. And he's going to be in the fight of his life because he wants it bad. Do you know what I mean?